So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, Text 44. Translation. The Lord's beautiful face appeared to them like the inside of a blue lotus, and the Lord's smile appeared to be a blossoming jasmine flower. After seeing the face of the Lord, the sages were fully satisfied, and when they wanted to see him further, they looked upon the nails of his lotus feet, which resembled rubies. Thus they viewed the Lord's transcendental body again and again, and so they finally achieved meditation on the Lord's personal feature. Text 45. Pumsam gatim rigayatam iha yoga margair dhyanaspadam bahumatam nayanabhiramam paumam shnamva purdarsaya darshayana mananyasitair autopatikai samadrinan yakam ashtabagai bogai. Translation. This is the form of the Lord which is meditated upon by the followers of the yoga process, and it is pleasing to the yogis in meditation. It is not imaginary but factual, as proved by great yogis. The Lord is full of 8 kinds of achievements, but for others these achievements are not possible in full perfection. Purport. The success of the yoga process is very nicely described here. It is specifically mentioned that the form of the Lord, as far as four-handed Narayan, is the object of meditation for the followers of Yoga Marga. In the modern age, there are so many so-called yogis who do not target their meditation on the four-handed Narayan form. Some of them try to meditate on something impersonal or void, but that is not approved by the great yogis who follow the standard method. The real Yoga Marga process is to control the senses, sit in a solitary and sanctified place, and meditate on the four-handed form of Narayan, decorated as described in this chapter, as he appeared before the 4 sages. The Narayan form is Krishna's expansion. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement, which is now spreading, is the real, topmost process of yoga practice. Now, the purport is very long. It's one of the longest purports in the Bhagavatam. It has 5 pages, and I don't know what devotees want to do, but I suggest that we do purport bit by bit. So every day read this verse and the part of the purport and then comment. So here we have a situation where 4 Kumaras are switching from the impersonal realization to the personal realization. And this is happening by they are smelling the, fragrance of the tulsi leaves. And they are also able to see the Lord and to see the four-handed Narayan form. So this verse 45 speaks about the goal of yoga. And the real goal of yoga is meditation on the four-handed form of Narayan. I had an opportunity to edit the book of Krishna Kshetra Maharaj called Yamas and Niyamas. And this is the book that describes the first two of the 8 letters of the Ashtanga Yoga. And he was using a lot Patanjali's quotes, and he was questioning whether there is bhakti in Patanjali's yoga system. And there is different, actually both Yama and Niyama have different segments, and some of them clearly indicate bhakti. So his conclusion was that there is bhakti in Patanjali's yoga system, but nowadays we have so many yoga teachers and yoga societies and processes that actually don't aim at bhakti. But we also see a phenomena in our movement that devotees become yoga teachers who teach Ashtanga Yoga, and then they try to spiritualize it. So I had an opportunity to assist some of the devotees who want to spiritualize their Ashtanga Yoga or Hatha Yoga teaching and make it more full of bhakti. And one way they do this, they inspire people to chant mantras, but it's not always Hare Krishna mantra. It's Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Radhe Shyam, different other names, because sometimes people are sensitive to the Hare Krishna mantra and identifying Hare Krishna mantra with the sect. So devotees use other names, but people chant enthusiastically. We have seen it. I have just came from Italy, and there is few yoga teachers there, and I have met 3 yoga teachers who try to spiritualize their yoga classes. So one devotee, one Prabhu, he tried to include a lot of elements of the Srimad Bhagavatam while he is instructing his students how to relax, how to meditate, while they are doing different asanas, different bodily postures. And then others, they engage them in chanting different mantras. They start with Om, then they chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or some other. In this way, people start to chant the holy names. So maybe before you joined, you have read books about yoga, and you got a certain impression that yoga is to become peaceful, to become healthy, to have some values, like higher values. But Srila Prabhupada has given a complete description and complete understanding of the purpose of yoga, and also, of the purpose of Ashtanga Yoga. There are different kinds of yogas, and there are different gurus that come from India, and they teach different kinds of yogas. But In Srila Prabhupada's books, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is very clearly explained what is the purpose of yoga. And Krishna himself, he is the originator of yoga. He says, the best of all yogis is one who meditates on me 24 hours a day. And we don't only meditate on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting or by thinking of him, but we also engage in devotional service. This is also meditation of the Lord, meditation on devotional service. And one very important aspect of yoga is to control the mind. We see that some devotees chant Hare Krishna for maybe 20 years or 30 years, and still they are very disturbed. Their mind is very much disturbed. And of course, in the beginning, everybody's mind is very much disturbed, because we are coming fresh from the material world with so many disturbances. And disturbances manifest in the form of material desires. They manifest in the form of fear, fear of death, sometimes fear of Maya. And fear of Maya is the healthiest fear you can have. Fear is usually not recommended for a devotee. It's recommended to become fearless. But Prabhupada recommended fear of Maya, to be afraid of Maya. He said that Western people are not afraid of Maya enough. Because why we are not afraid so much of Maya? Because Maya looks harmless at first sight. A little bit of sinful activity is not so bad, I mean, you are doing so many pious activities, you are doing so much devotional service. So if you do a little bit of sinful activity, it's not so bad. It's just a grain in an ocean of water. And this is how it starts. This is how Maya cheats us lifetime after lifetime. The Maya says to our minds, just a little bit of Maya is not so bad. Just a little bit of material enjoyment, just a little bit of sinful enjoyment is not so bad, and we believe it. We believe it because of foolishness, and this happens lifetime after lifetime. So if you become fed up with this game and with this cheating, then you can become serious in Krishna consciousness. Maybe you're new, maybe you're old, maybe you're already 20 years, 30 years, maybe you just came a couple of years ago or a couple of months ago. But most probably this is not your first attempt to become Krishna conscious. Maybe you have been trying many lifetimes to become Krishna conscious. And now is another opportunity to become very, very serious. Not to play with Maya. Not to play with Maya. This playing with Maya, trying to balance Maya and Krishna consciousness, is a very dangerous game. We see that people have their public personality. They present themselves as something, as a nice devotee, serious, offer obeisances, say Hari Bol, take prashadam. Then you have your private life, maybe with your wife, with your family, where you become more loose and more show of your dark side, a private life, private personality. And then you have your secret personality that nobody knows. Where you have, I don't know, whatever it is. It may be material desires, it may be heavy anarthas. It's usually a very dark side. But if part of your secret life is something positive or something spiritual, that's nice. If part of your secret life is your dreaming how to go back to Godhead or how to become a pure devotee, how to always please Krishna, but you are shy to reveal this to devotees that you are thinking about it because they might not believe you. That's nice if you have such kind of a secret personality who is dreaming about spiritual perfection. But usually this secret is a dark side. So I always say that you are not what you present on Facebook. You know, smiling, beautiful person, so many friends, walking in wonderful nature, enjoying wonderful food. You are what you do when no one is looking. You are not what you present yourself. Okay, you are also this. Well, it's part of you, but you are actually what you do when no one is looking. It's your secret life. So yogi has to become sincere. Has to become so sincere that what he does publicly and what he does privately is the same. And we know that Krishna is watching us. He is in our heart as a super soul. So he's watching us. So this is yoga of sincerity. To become sincere and to become the same inside and the outside. In Kali Yuga, very difficult yoga is yoga of not being disturbed, because today everybody is disturbed by so many things. If I want to make a list of what irritates me, this will be probably a big list. And we are intolerant, manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya vipadruta. In the first canto, the qualities of the people of Kali Yuga are described. One of them is being disturbed always. But Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, one who is not disturbed is very dear to me. So simply by not being disturbed, you become very dear to Krishna. It's 12:15, chapter 12, text 15, where Krishna says that one who is not disturbed by the dualities of material nature is very dear to me. Now, something I will, when I get opportunity to give class, would like to speak about more while I'm here is the story of Avanti Brahmana. It's from the 11th canto, chapter 23. I don't know if you have read it. Anybody of you read this story? No? Okay. Do you have 11th canto in German? No. Oh my. Okay. That's a pity. At least this chapter somebody can translate. Maybe I will arrange. This person, he was materialistic, although he was born in a Brahmana family, but he was what is called in the scriptures Brahma Bandhu, unworthy son of a Brahmana. He was into making money, but he was stingy. He wouldn't spend money even for his own enjoyment, or to speak of his family, and they hated him. He was always keeping his money, and eventually his family left him, and then he had amazing realizations. He understood that this life is useless, this kind of life is useless. And I gave 9 classes in Italy about this story. It's called The Song of the Avanti Brahmana, chapter 23 in the 11th canto. If you speak English, you can easily read it in the database, online, offline. And we discussed this. There was questions sometimes at the end of the class about Avanti Brahmana and how he was able to go beyond blame of anybody, go beyond depression, go beyond any kind of external disturbance, and he developed this amazing determination to continue with his spiritual life till the end of his life. So at the end of the story, it says that anybody who reads this story, who hears this story, will become free from the dualities of material nature, like heat and cold, fame and infamy, good and bad, etc. And he will be free from this, and he will be able to proceed on his spiritual path. So thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions? Yes?
You told that sometimes, even if we are sometimes 20 years here and still have material desires, so what do you think is the problem? Why we have sometimes 20 years here and doing everything, but still these things are here?
The heart didn't get purified. Actually, I will repeat the question because I'm recording. Why, after 20 years of chanting and practicing Krishna consciousness, we still have material desires? Is that a question? Mm-hmm. So, we didn't chant properly so that all material desires become purified. And in the Nectar of Devotion, there is a very scientific description of the desires and the seeds of desires. So you can get free from some desires, but the seed of sinful desire remains in the heart, and then it sprouts again and starts to grow again. So if the chanting is pure, if the chanting is offenseless, then it purifies the heart very deeply, and then these seeds are burned, seeds of material desires. One reason is that we don't really understand how dangerous are material desires and how poisonous are they. So we play a little bit. Oh man, maybe I have desires. I cannot kill my desires. It's true, we cannot kill our desires, but we are supposed to transform our desires. We are supposed to transform them. And for example, if you have a desire to cook nice food and to eat nice food, you do it for Krishna. Learn to offer. And also you learn, what we learn in our culture is not only that you take food for yourself, but you should distribute to others. Once one Grihastha was asking Srila Prabhupada what is the duty of a Grihastha, and Prabhupada said, before you take meal, go out on the street and ask, is anybody hungry? Is anybody hungry? And then Grihastha he thought Prabhupada didn't understand his question. So he asked him again, what is actually the duty of a Grihastha? And Prabhupada patiently repeated the same thing. He says, before you take your meal, you go out and ask, is anybody hungry? Is anybody hungry? Now, if you go here on this street, Bergstrasse, and say this, nobody will hear you. So I think you have to invite people, if you invite people by phone, by internet, to come and join you for your meal. So we like to eat, but we like to share, and we like to first offer food to Krishna. And in this way, almost any desire, even sex desire, I mean, if you can have hundreds of children, if you can take care of them and make them Krishna conscious. Like Prajapatis, they have like 10,000 children, so this means they have sex so much. So even that can be engaged. But we know what is sinful, and we know that sinful desires are dangerous, and we want to avoid them. And Srila Prabhupada gave very practical instruction. Satchidananda Swami discovered this letter, or at least I heard this instruction from him, that one devotee asked him, how can we control lust? How can we control sex desire? He was a Grihastha, and he said that mind has these three functions of thinking, feeling, and willing, and you catch this impulse while it is still a thought, not after it develops into a feeling or a desire to do something. It starts as a not such a strong impulse. I mean, sometimes impulse is strong at an instant to sinfully enjoy. In the mind, it manifests sometimes even in the chest. You can feel it. But if it starts as a thought, then you deal with this immediately, very early, and then this way you protect yourself from thinking about sinful activity and engaging in sinful activities. So we must have desires. This is the quality of the soul, but we want to avoid sinful desires and really be strict about this, to say no to Maya. And when you start this, Maya will let you go for some time. Okay, he's serious, let him go, and she will test you. She will test you. So you have to be ready to say no again. And the more say you no, the more she will leave you alone. Because she will see that you are serious. This is her job, to test us. And so there is this principle: exercise sincerity in the moment of choice, especially when no one is looking. Especially when no one is looking. What you're going to watch, what you're going to meditate on, what you're going to do. There is one purport in the Bhagavad Gita where Srila Prabhupada says that this enjoyment, sinful enjoyment, is the greatest enemy of the soul. Because we get attached to that, and this keeps us in the material world. I will do a research in the database about the greatest enemy, and there are several things that are said in the Shastra about what is the greatest enemy. But greatest enemy is something to be avoided. So when you feel like, I would like to enjoy, know that this is a trap. It's a trap. It's like alluring you, and then the Maya is alluring you, attracting you, and then she will slaughter you. So it's very dangerous to play with Maya. And simple thing can help. Very simple thing can help. When you feel it's coming, you can bow down, you can pray, you can start chanting, you can start reading, and you can tell your mind also, my dear mind, please, you are doing this to me for many lifetimes. Please stop it. Please help me now make spiritual advancement. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his book Kalyana Kalpataru, starts like 90% of the verses with my dear mind. My dear mind. So we can also use this and to address our mind. Okay? Yes?
You mentioned that about in the story of this Brahmana that he came to a state where he's not blaming anyone. So that includes ourselves, isn't it? That we don't blame ourselves. So, but now I see that many devotees are actually doing that. Oh, I'm so low, I'm so fallen, I did so many bad things. How should we deal with that? What should we tell them?
We need to have a healthy relationship with ourselves to develop a healthy inner dialogue, how we talk to ourselves. And healthy to me means you're not too strict and you're not too lenient, but you're balanced. Some kind of a criticism is healthy, but not, too much. And it also can be a false ego thing, and it also can be Maya, to blame yourself too much, to lament too much, to always say, I'm the most fallen. I'm so fallen that I cannot do any service. I'm so fallen that I cannot chant. So this is obviously Maya. Because you can always do some service, you can always chant. So this is a very important point. Devotees, they learn to stop blaming others But then they start to blame themselves. This is also a bad habit. So therefore, we should develop such an inner dialogue which is supportive, encouraging. Sometimes we need to correct ourselves and admit that we have made a mistake. But we generally want to have a very positive inner dialogue, and the way we talk to ourselves is like a coach talks to yourself, or a counselor. They talk to you in a way to encourage you, to support you, to help you, so you can develop such inner dialogue. Okay? Thank you, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.